Hello, horror fans. It's me, Cass, and
Kylie.
today we have on a special guest co-host. So if you do not know our guest, you need to jump over to the Hellzone right now, binge all of his review videos, and then go to his own personal page and watch all of his content as well. But we have on Cody from the Hellzone. And how are you, Cody?
I am fantastic, super excited to be on here with you for the first time talking about one of my all-time favorite movies.
I know. I'm so excited. So, one of the greatest things about joining the Hellzone is Kylie has called it like my meet cute moment of like Cody and I just talking movies to each other and like the Step Brothers. Did we just become best friends kind of vibe?
Literally.
That's what's happening. So, sorry, Weston, but I think I actually found the person that I was separated at birth from. I apologize. You're like number two. You're number two. Okay. Still love you, but you're still like my little brother. But yeah, I'm just so excited because we're doing Urban Legend, which is just so nostalgic. And I just think this is going to be incredible. For those of you who have not watched it, Urban Legend is currently available on AMC Plus. If you want to watch this before you dive into this with us, stop, go ahead and push the pause button and come back to us. But from this point on, full spoiler effect. I will mention that this movie has some things that might be triggers for people. So, as always, I would highly advocate you going to doesthedogdie.com and checking and making sure that that's not going to, be something that just kind of sets you off. Because we never want anyone to like feel like they have to watch something and put themselves through torture. But go ahead and check down below. We will mention some of the triggers down below. So go ahead and check the description. But from here on out, full spoiler alert. Now, I know before even starting this, there have been some allegations against Jared Leto, one of the actors of this movie. We don't know one way or another what happened. But this is a movie that came out in the 90s. Well, no, early 2000s, sorry. My brain's stuck in the 90s today. Sorry, guys.
It's the 90s. It came out in 98, I think.
Yeah, it came out in 98.
It did. Yeah, it did. I guess I'm getting confused because some of the other movies that we have on our list for the nostalgia, a lot of those are early 2000s. But this is a film that is the early 2000s for me because I didn't see it until the early 2000s. I think I was 13 when I watched this movie, which would have made that 2003. So that's where my brain is. But we're not going to say one way or another, but I'm just letting you guys know in advance and kind of just smooth sailing from here. So we're going to go ahead and get started. So I'm kind of excited because this is the first time that Cody is going to see our intro. So let's go ahead and cue the music.
Welcome to the Horrorcraft Podcast.
And we're back. We are back. Thank you, Tanner, as always, for our intro. I promise in the future that I will say Tiki because I know you don't like going by your government name.
I was giving you the eyes.
I know. I need to do better. I'm sorry, guys. So I apologize. In the future, Tiki. So
Tiki.
It's the mom in me. But so we are back. We're gonna do Urban Legend. But before that, we're just gonna do some fun questions for Cody. So Cody, I can't do Ghostface. I never could, and I cannot do a scary voice. But I know as somebody who does content pretty regularly that this could be a subjective question. So it could be like new, old, all-time favorite. But what is your favorite scary movie?
Scream, forever and always, the original.
Yeah, Scream's just hard to beat.
We all know there's nothing more that can be said about Scream that hasn't been said already. It was the moment. It was fire. It revitalized the slasher genre and the horror genre in general. Gave me my favorite fictional character of all time. I treat her as if she's a real person. The one and only Sidney Prescott.
Yeah, she's Sidney motherfucking Prescott.
And it's just like, you talk about Sidney and Nev. I can't just like subject it to just one movie, because you look at Sidney's arc throughout the whole franchise and it's like, say like, oh, like what's your favorite Nev Campbell performance? I can't just say Scream 2, Scream 3. I said the Scream franchise, because this is a whole arc that she goes through and Nev just does it so perfectly.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, I love it. And Nev you can't do any better than Nev Campbell. You really can't. So, so obviously you do a lot of content for Hellzone. You do some horror content yourself. What do you feel like is a movie that is highly underrated that people sleep on?
Highly underrated, huh?
Mm-hmm. I also was kind of surprised that when I just asked you that question that you didn't say, I know what you did last summer.
Well, I mean, if that one has kind of a cult following, so that'd be one that I probably wouldn't really.
No, I meant for your favorite scary movie. Sorry.
Oh no, it's in there.
I know it's a hard one. It really is.
There's so many of them that could be considered underrated to me.
Yeah, I know. For example, I know, like for me, I think The Changeling never gets enough credit for how amazing it is.
I watched that for the first time because of Nev Campbell, because that's her most scary movie that she's seen.
Mm-hmm.
I guess maybe I'd say. I think The Skeleton Key is super underrated.
Yeah, yeah.
I've never seen that, and I don't know why.
Oh, you'd love it.
Oh, it's crazy.
I feel yeah.
It's crazy, and I will say, Kate Hudson, they have done you dirty, because you should have been in more horror movies after that.
Really should have.
And they did you dirty by that. So please, I know you're busy, but if you could come back to horror, every now and again, I'd appreciate it. So, talking to her like I'm her friend. Kate Hudson doesn't know who the fuck I am, but yeah, no, Skeleton Key is great. I think it's just like, I feel like people didn't want to watch the same person that was in The Notebook be in this movie and be like nefarious.
Oh my god.
You mean not The Notebook, How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days.
No,
Jenna Rollins. Who played
Jenna
older
Rollins,
Allie.
yeah, she plays a character in this movie, and
she's
like,
okay, yeah. I'm like,
that was like shortly. That, if I'm not mistaken, that was shortly after The Notebook, right, Cody? Because I think
it might have been a year after.
Yeah,
the same year or the year after, because I can't remember if The Notebook came out in 04 or 05.
I feel like it was 05. But
she recently died, and she died of Alzheimer's.
I know.
That blew my mind.
I know.
I'm like, what are the why?
I know, but she killed it in that role, and I feel like they both should have gone on and done more horror. I think their performances are incredibly underrated. Especially Kate Hudson, because again, like she did How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days and all these other movies, but like for what she did, she was pretty fantastic.
Yeah, she's one of those actresses where it's like you see all of her catalog beforehand, you're like, I never realized how much I needed her in a horror movie. I would have expected her to be this good in a horror movie. Like, I mean, I love her regardless, but
yeah, I just
there's never been anything I've seen her in. There's never been anything that I didn't like at all.
I may hate the movie, but she's certainly not one of the bad things about it.
Yeah.
Exactly. But then again, I'm a huge fan of How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days.
Oh, that's my favorite rom-com of all time. Which,
Yeah.
yes, rom-com, horror, but you know what? I don't care. They're both feel-good genres for me.
Yeah, rom-com and horror go together, though. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
They do.
they do. It's just, you're allowed to, you know, be sappy from a movie and then also be sappy at a horror movie because of how brilliant it is. Like, you know, slashers have hearts too.
I think people think that we don't watch anything else but horror.
Oh yeah, no. Anybody who knows me knows I am not just a walking encyclopedia for horror, even though that is like what I'm good at. But I watch a lot of shit. So I probably could still run the fan club for Gerard Butler. If we're being honest, like,
what do you mean? You're the fucking president.
I should be the fucking president because a lot of people have like gave him the same kind of shit. Like they don't like the fact that he's in like these different action movies or different movies like this and that.
But
and
he's
like,
great at it.
And he's great at it. Like
I would argue I'd rather watch Gerard Butler in an action movie than Liam Neeson.
Yeah,
Liam's good. But it's like Gerard has such charisma in the movies he's in.
He does, and he just kind of sells. And it's not even just the action ones because I watched Greenland a while back, and he's kind of incredible in it because that whole entire movie is him and his family like being separated at the end of the world. Like the world ends, and they get separated, and he was really good at that. And I'm just like.
I mean, it even goes all the way back to Phantom of the Opera and how much emotion he put into the Phantom.
Yes. Yeah.
There it is.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, been a fan of Gerard since 300. It's like, Phantom over here.
Yeah. Listen, I will even venture back and say people can't say this, but I've been a fan of Gerard Butler since he played Attila the Hun in a TV miniseries. And let me tell you, that man deserved so much fucking more because he was in a like long wig with that. It actually, his thing for Dracula 2000, his interview tape, the last time we had talked about Dracula 2000, somebody brought up this point, and I'm glad they did because I kind of knew it, but I guess I didn't clock it. He came from Attila the Hun to audition for Dracula 2000. So that all that like hair and stuff like that is from Attila the Hun. And listen, he's given full goth daddy in that. Like they should have left him like that for Dracula. Like I love him regardless in that, but like, damn, he would have killed me.
And I do love that he has been open about that, how he has current body issues, like how he says he's like, I kind of let myself go. I don't like to do shirtless scenes or be caught shirtless anymore. It's like, and it shows that, you know, men have those feelings too.
Yeah. And he's just kind of wholesome because he talked really recently about how he fought to come back for How to Train Your Dragon, that he'd been wanting to do that the whole time. Like it was his character and he really wanted to show that. And he put a lot of heart and soul in it. And I haven't seen the new How to Train Your Dragon yet, but like, I've just heard people say really good things about it. And he's just done a lot. And he even did like a public access Christmas special where it was like Alice in Wonderland Christmas. And it was so freaking cute. So I think he's just a cool kind of person. And so I feel like people give him shit. And like for that role, he only sang in a band, but he was like, it was Joel Schumacher. He did Lost Boys. Like he was asking me to do Phantom of the Opera. I would have jumped through like fire to do it. So, and he fits the bill. If you've ever seen the musical, I've seen it in person. He's exactly what they fit the bill for Eric, even going back to the book. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. Listen, Gerard, you're great. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. So
co-signed.
Yes, co-sign. Before we move on though, I just have to ask this question because I feel like you'll give the same answer. But in Phantom, were you Team Raoul or were you Team Phantom?
Oh, Team Phantom all the way, especially at the age of when I saw it. I felt like such a kinship with him, like with all the self-esteem issues I had. It was just like something I really related to. And sure, he kind of murdered some people, but it's like he felt the closest thing to love he could ever had since childhood.
I mean, he didn't really murder anybody that couldn't have been murdered by somebody else for other actions. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, did he do some wrong things? Yes, but he's a little misguided. Okay. If we could co-sign for Bill and Stu, like Billy and Stu, like really, come on, we could co-sign for Phantom. Yes. Like, he didn't do as much nefarious things. Like, somebody brought this up the other day. Oh, you know what it is? It's Stoney the Great. I'll put his TikTok handle down below. He was talking about worst friends in horror movies. He brought up Billy and Stu as the first one. And I agree with him, because now thinking about that and watching it back is that they were terrible fucking friends. Because listen, you were deceiving your friends the whole fucking time. You knew that you hated all of those motherfuckers, and you still acted the way you did. And you both threw each other under the bus. You were like, oh, we have each other. And then you both turn on each other in 2.2 seconds. Like,
I hear that, but I would put the group in Unfriended at number 1.
Oh, definitely. That was
they were throwing
too.
Each other under the bus.
Yeah, that was
especially that final girl. Oh my god.
100%. Like, I would also say that the ladies from the Descent part of that group should go on there as well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because
I think in Monster Summer, Mason Dame's character, his friends, Eugene and the girl, I think they were fucking horrible friends.
They were horrible fucking friends.
They were
I'm
horrible
so glad
friends.
You watched it though too after I recommended.
Oh, I loved it, and we're going to cover it on Spooky Moms, because I just think it is just, you don't see movies being made like that anymore.
No.
You don't.
No,
like,
you
it
don't.
Doesn't go in the dark territory like the movies we had when we were younger.
No, and it's just, there was so many, it just was so nostalgic. Like, you had like the Sandlot, like you had Patrick Renna, in it, Mel Gibson, and there was just so many themes.
Lorraine Bronco.
Lorraine Bronco. Like, it felt like the Goonies. Like, it was just, I loved it. I love Mel Gibson's character, and that Mason Thames, I cannot wait to see like how he progresses in his career.
And he has
especially with Black Phone 2 coming out.
Now he has like this kind of teen rom-com drama coming out. It's based on a Colleen Hoover book. The author of it Ends With Us. But it has McKenna Grace in it as his female co-star. Yeah, it looks so good.
I do think it looks good. But yeah, it just had a lot of heart in it too, because they wrote the characters just so well. So we are going to be covering it for Spooky Moms.
Yes.
Spooky Moms will be back. But we're retooling some things. We're under construction with a lot of things in the Horrorcraft LLC universe. So we're upgrading, and we're just in the build a bitch factory right now. Just doing our best to be the best horror baddies out here. So you recommended Monster Summer to us. If somebody is looking for a good movie that probably just doesn't get enough mainstream love, what would be, the movie that you would pick right here, right now?
So something different than the Skeleton Key? Or...
Yeah, something different than the skeleton. I mean, I know the Skeleton Key is but if it, take for instance, if you were your friend was perusing the Blockbuster shelves, and you could pick them one, it could either be like a bigger horror movie or not. What would be your go-to, like, you need to watch this horror movie?
And one that's not like super mainstream, you said.
Yeah, it could be mainstream if you want, but like not something maybe like Scream or something that somebody's gonna like recognize like right away.
I suppose I'd say, like, especially if it's maybe a newbie, Happy Death Day, because despite being PG-13, it still has like kills that you can feel, and it has such a great character arc for Tree. Jessica Roth is amazing in it, and all the different layers she has for her character, and it has a lot of heart in it too, much like Monster Summer did.
Yeah.
Like my best friend, I had her watch both of them with me when she came to spend the weekend with me once, and she absolutely loved it. She loved mostly like she's a super like softie, so she loved a lot of the more emotional scenes the most over the horror.
Yeah, definitely. I mine would be Monster Squad. Because I feel like a lot of people, like non-horror people, don't know enough about it, and I'm like, that movie is just incredible. Like, it's just got a lot of heart. Again, a lot of heart to it, but it's also kind of a treasure trove because you got the Universal monsters without it being the Universal monsters. So, I'm super excited for that. What's your favorite genre of horror?
Oh, slashers, forever and always.
Yes. Yeah. I love slashers. That's in my top 2. No one's surprised by me saying vampires.
I'll seek out any slashers I can. I scroll on Tubi, and even if it looks like a crappy B movie, I'm going to add it to my list.
Yeah, I do the same with me. I consume a lot of vampire content. I got burned out there for a minute, but Sinners brought me back online. Mm-hmm. Kylie kind of called me out on it too because we were trying to tackle down the episode that I was going to do for my birthday. And she was like, you need to pick it. And I was being very like, but I just don't know, blah, blah. And she was like, you need to pick the fucking movie, man.
It's your fucking birthday.
It's your fucking birthday. You need to do it. So then I didn't pick a vampire movie, but I was like, maybe I'm being a little too hard on the vampires right now. So then I watched some of my favorites and went through it. So
one vampire movie I watched recently, I don't know why I put it off for so long, but I recently watched it and I freaking loved it, was John Carpenter's Vampires.
Yes! Yeah.
James was aside because he's a piece of shit, but, I loved the movie. I loved the vibe. I just love how trippy it was at times, too.
Have you ever seen Near Dark?
Yes, I love that one, too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would say those two are ones that I feel like. There is a new vampire movie, too, that came out, a French vampire movie. It's a French Dracula by Luc Besson. And I've seen TikTok clips of it, and it looks incredible so far. So I'm excited for that one. But yeah, John Carpenter's Vampires is fantastic. I feel like a lot of people sleep on it, and it doesn't get enough love. I feel like that and Daybreakers is another one with
Daybreakers was fun.
Yeah, Sam Neill and Ethan Hawke in the same movie. I mean, it's just incredible. So, but I feel like a lot of that doesn't give love. Kylie, I feel like you're going to pick slashers, but what's your favorite genre?
Found footage.
Yeah.
Come on,
I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot. Yeah. Yeah, I'm an idiot. So that was
right in front of footage. There's a lot of corniness, but like there's a lot of good ones too.
I love found footage when it does something to differentiate itself from other ones like it, because after Paranormal Activity, so many people tried to copy it, and I just got annoyed. Whereas, like, stop. But then I get surprised when I see ones that are super good and actually try to do something different.
Yeah, I like the ones that incorporate like true crime into it.
I love those too.
Or even just then the paranormal. But I've seen some really good ones lately that is just about social media influencers. Mm-hmm. And I just think that is like a really cool concept. Just bring just more modern and, social media, and being a social media influencer is really, it's everybody's job right now, pretty much, seems like.
Did you ever see the movie The Tunnel?
Yes.
That one had my anxiety going because of all the narrow areas and just frantic moving.
A good one that I really love and I'd like to cover it, do a review, is Devil's Pass. It's about the outlaw of missing people incident, but like these college students go over there, and it's just fucking it's wild, and I really enjoy it because it's very scary. There's another thing I like too, like I did a review on Project MK Hex, and I just love that. It's found footage. There was kind of a little bit of a true crime aspect to it, except like this guy's brother, you know, he takes his life unfortunately, but he's trying to, you know, get to the bottom, like just trying to find answers pretty much. But you've got like government conspiracies and like just some really dark occult things and government cover-ups, and it tickles my fancy.
And there's just random ones too that you come across. Like some of them I just came across randomly a couple of years ago. Was Jerusalem.
I haven't seen that one.
That one was good. Butterfly Kisses.
Yep.
That one's really good. Yeah, that one's really good. Have you seen Grave Encounters?
Oh, I love Grave Encounters.
Grave Encounters. I would say my favorite is
shit.
Yeah, I would say my favorite has to either be Grave Encounters, or I know you're not a fan of this, but just for me, because of the fact that it's a monster movie, and I feel like I just love it so much. I love Troll Hunter.
I thought you were going to say Cloverfield, because that one is probably my favorite found footage.
Yeah, no, I love Cloverfield too, because Cloverfield, I remember when I saw that in theaters, and I had never seen anything like it. That was one of the first movies I remember really being in theaters and being like, what the fuck is that? And like, it disoriented me so much because I had never really seen anything like that it just hyped up my scare. Like, and then the creature, like not really knowing like the full aspects of like everything being laid out for you. It just was crazy to me. I love monsters though, and I kind of love like a good atmosphere. And I just feel like
I love like found footage with like stuff like Bigfoot or just anything like monsters. Love it. It's my favorite.
Yeah.
Like one I watched like a couple months ago for the first time. I never kind of got to finish the ending because the kids were acting nuts when I was trying to watch it. But Tahoe Joe, it's kind of cheesy, but like it's good. But the scares are pretty solid.
Yeah.
What was I watching yesterday? The Who incident on Found TV. That one is definitely a little cheesy, but I was genuinely like being like scared.
I think it just kind of like, so for me, Troll Hunter, it just kind of, I didn't really know. I didn't go in with it with any expectations. I feel like that's the best way to go into it, because I definitely wasn't expecting that, because I thought maybe we were just going to, but like giant fucking monsters. And it's just like the way that kind of devolved just into different things, and the way that they did that, I just thought it was great. And for me, Grave Encounters, like I love a good atmosphere. And my two like favorite things when it comes to horror is like museums and like atmospheres, like big houses or asylums, different things like that. Like I love that. Like I love Grave Encounters, love Session 9, love Waxwork, love House of Wax, like all of those. I feel like they just give me such a good vibe to go to. Oh God, yes.
Talk about underrated.
Oh, incredibly. I mean, you got Halle Berry and Robert Downey Jr. Yeah. And Robert Downey Jr. in horror is incredibly underrated. Like In Dreams is another fantastic one. And I feel like people sleep on that all the time, but that movie is fucking horrifying. Especially on face value, because like the most horrific thing happens in the beginning, which is what happens to her child. And then her like digging her way out of that, and the way that devolves into everything, and just the way that the directions that things go in the underwater town is another thing. Like, that to me was crazy. Like the Deep House is another one that I love.
I love the Deep. That was claustrophobic as all shit.
Oh my God. Yeah, you're underwater in a house, and it's just, oh my God.
As above, so below. That movie. Oh my gosh, so claustrophobic. Oh gosh, that's a good one though.
Did you ever see the movie Catacombs with Pink?
I have not yet. I put that on my list.
I have heard of that, but I have not watched it.
It's a good one. I'm like, Pink, you're gonna doing this thing. God, I'm all right.
So
I need to watch that now. ASAP.
You do, because I added it after he said it. I was like, wait a minute, Cody's trumping me when I don't know a movie. Because I make it a point to watch some pretty ridiculous fucking shit. Most definitely.
To add to the found footage ones, that's one that I asked Kylie about because I knew she loved like the Hell House franchise. It's very akin to that is the Horror in the High Desert movies.
Oh,
I like those. I like those a lot.
They're such subtle scares. It just makes you feel uneasy and so many times. And I cannot wait for the next movie to come out because the last film just leaves you hanging like, what the F?
Yeah, the first one I really liked. I genuinely felt bad for the guy that went missing.
Yes.
Like, you could tell he had some kind of disability. I'm thinking probably autism.
Yeah.
And I think his sister was a fucking cunt. And she can go straight to fucking hell.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't know they were making another one, though.
Yeah. Because I think he said there was like plans for 2 more after this most recent one. But I haven't heard anything about the next sequel coming out yet or projected release.
Yeah, those ones I will say, are definitely really popular in the found footage genre. Another one I keep seeing popping up right now is Megan is Missing. And I started watching that.
I'll never watch that.
But I guess like it's, yeah, I don't know.
I know the ending and I don't need to see that.
Yeah,
a lot of people I'm noticing in the found footage genre, like in the just in the comments section, people, I don't like, you could tell they're into like Serbian films, and it's like, I'm not.
Yeah. Listen,
the closest I will get to anything like that is Poughkeepsie Tapes, and that movie is fucking absolutely wild.
That gave me a stomach ache.
Yeah. I was about to say the closest I would ever come to that is Martyrs, and I've only ever really watched that, I think, like once or twice, and it's not something I would be like, I want to repeat this over and over again.
Yeah, like that's regret ever watching Serbian film.
Yeah,
I regret watching that and Cannibal Holocaust.
Yeah, and I just feel like, especially with a Serbian film, the way that it gets fetishized in the horror community, it's just crazy. And that's the one thing that people, especially with women, listen, I'm gonna hold everyone's hand when I'm saying this. This is just a PSA. I'm just gonna say it. As a woman in horror, I don't have to prove that I'm a horror fan because I watch a Serbian film. I understand that it's I understand it's a political statement. I understand the purpose behind it. But listen, sexual assault is a part of life. I understand that it happens, unfortunately. But doing something so gross on that level is something I will never platform. So sorry if me being a card-carrying horror member my membership is proven by a Serbian film. There are a lot more intense films. I don't have to do that. I probably know more about horror than you do, and I don't need to prove it by watching a movie that's just uncomfortable the whole fucking time. That's not why I watch horror movies, nor is it the fucking point. So
it's giving Russ McAmey from like the McAmey Manor dude.
Yeah. I don't fuck that. You know, people who sign up for that, you're willing to do that, that's fine. But me, I'm not. So I don't need to sign up for those. I don't need to prove that I'm a horror fan by watching some movie that I'm gonna fucking hate in the first place.
And it's dumb when people put those type of movies on the same pedestal as something like Human Centipede. I'm like, they are not even in the same movie.
Yeah, Human Centipede's different because Human Centipede, it's gotten some.
It's disturbing and disgusting, but it's not like nothing like what.
Yeah, and
it's traumatizing, but it's not traumatizing.
And people like to throw in the fact of, and I'll get off my tangent after this, but people like to throw in the fact of, oh, well, it's like watching Last House on the Left. You know, that talks about sexual assault too. Well, the whole point of Last House on the Left is it's supposed to be fucking uncomfortable. This is something absolutely horrific. And it was the fact of that the brutality behind that was then matched by these people going into this girl's home and not only victimizing her, but her family, and her family then turning it around on her. And I'm sorry, but the new one kind of fucking levels that shit up. There are very few moments that live like super rent free in my head. That microwave scene from the reboot is fucking lives there daily.
And
like,
that has a redemption arc to it. No,
yeah.
not redemption. There's like a victorious feeling after it.
Yeah, there's like
Serbian
film was a snuff film.
Yeah, it was. And listen, I understand that could be part of life. That like with martyrs, part of that is like the whole thing is pushing someone to the point of pain to where they could see death or whatever. And it's horrifying, but the reality is there are people who will push limits like that. And that's kind of the, like, what would you do to, how far would you go to do this? Or how far, it's extreme. It's kind of like Speak No Evil. The American version is way different than the actual version.
Yes.
The foreign version, foreign version is more brutal. Both versions are great, but it just depends on where you gauge with things. I like the brutality that they showed in the original, but they also changed up a lot in the new one, where the dad wasn't as like flopping around as the original was, and they kind of put it more on the boy that survives and like just different things like that. It just depends. But there are certain films that shouldn't, if I don't want to watch that, I don't have to watch it. If I don't want to watch a movie about spiders because I have a fear, that doesn't mean that I belong in the horror community. Like I like some movies that have spiders. Like I like Eight-Legged Freaks. Shout out to Randy Kornfield, who wrote Eight-Legged Freaks and also wrote Jingle All the Way. He's an incredible person. I had the pleasure of sitting next to him, and he's wonderful. Does that mean I'm actively going to go now watch all the spider movies to prove my worth? No, I fucking hate those things.
I used to watch Arachnophobia.
I unfortunately got forced to watch Arachnophobia when I was younger, and that only amplified it.
It was a movie day in science class for us. I'm like, yeah, I'm just going to go sit in the corner over here. Bye.
Yeah, and what's worse is the spiders that they use for the big spiders are actual spiders that are from Colorado that live in the mountains that they like zoomed in on to make them look all crazy like that. And yeah, I've seen those in person, and I've seen I know.
I just don't like anything buggy. Like sometimes I can push myself to do it. Like I eventually said F it and watched The Fly, the Jeff Goldblum one, because it's like I feel like I need to watch this. Like not because it was forcing me, but I did, and I liked it. It was gross, but not in the way I was expecting it to be.
Yeah, listen, I don't fuck around with snakes, but I love Anaconda. Like, it's all right. You can gauge however you want, but it's just I feel like, especially with women, that gets pushed in our face a lot, especially with a Serbian film. And that makes people uncomfortable, and that's what no, I don't give a fuck. Like, right. I can watch a lot of different movies.
Well, and like going back to like Last House on the Left, because that's Wes Craven. He's known for doing certain movies because of just the social things within them. But he does it in a way where it just kind of he does it in a classy way. Not saying that like that was great what happened, and but like
no, but she got her comeuppance. That was kind of the thing.
Exactly.
It was kind of,
when it comes to that stuff, it's all about how you land it. And just because I do like Last House on the Left, because it's a very good like revenge and like fuck around and find out movie.
Yeah.
But do I like the scene where like the girl gets raped? Absolutely fucking not.
No.
I don't like I Spit on Your Grave either, even though she fucking comes back and gets her revenge. But Serbian film where it's just all of that, no thank you.
Yeah, it's just something that I just feel like, I don't like.
I feel like, and it's always a guy asking a woman that question, and that just makes it really fucking weird. It's like a dude sliding into your DMs and asking what your favorite sex position is and sending you a dick pic. That's what it's that's what it's giving.
Yeah. Yeah, listen, if you wouldn't ask your mother the question, don't ask some random girl on the internet. And I'm not going to do that. So, but I just hate that that's like the standard of, oh, you can handle things. No, fuck you, bro. Like, I don't need to prove that. I'm sorry. There are some things that are a touch too far. That is one of them. So,
like, all right, diddler.
Yeah.
Literally.
Kylie had to put a Diddy joke in here at least once. Like, she did. And you don't blame her for that. So, right. Cody, in the vein of my PSA, and I was already going to ask you that before we swerved in that territory for our last icebreaker. What do you think is a horror movie that gets too much hype that it doesn't deserve? Excluding, obviously, us talking about the Serbian film.
Honestly, I know I'm in the minority for this, but Sinister. Yeah. For me, I when I saw it in the theater, I was dozing off when the found footage stuff was not on screen. Those were the only interesting parts that I cared about.
Yeah, I think it's one of those specific ones. I
find it as scary as people said it was. Like, I know scary is subjective, of course.
Right.
It's just I was just so ineffective, and I think it also helped that I did not care about Ethan Hawke's character, and I don't know. There's just something about it that didn't click with me.
I think the reason it's horrifying for some people, and I think me included, is the idea that your kid's going to turn on you. So I know for me, when I saw it, I was pregnant at the time. I was already struggling with like, I'm becoming a fucking mother. Like, and you know, how am I going to do this? Like, I felt so vastly unprepared. And I think it just brought out like my worst fear of like failing as a parent, but then failing so hard that your child murders you just is like an unlocked fear.
Mm-hmm.
So, Kylie, what movie do you think is underrated? I mean, overrated, sorry.
Heretic.
Damn. Yeah.
I wasn't a fan of that either. I was expecting Companion.
So much more. What else?
I liked Companion, but I feel like Companion is a specific movie where you either love it or hate it.
I just didn't enjoy it, and I didn't enjoy them making Iris really fucking stupid. I'm just gonna say I don't like Jack Quaid. I don't like him. Maybe he's okay as a person, but like in movies, no. Didn't like him as Richie in Scream. Yeah, but you were supposed to kind of like hate his character. I don't know, maybe if it's because of that, but I didn't like him in Companion. I did watch this new one, Neighborhood Watch, with why can't I think of his name? He plays what's his face in Walking Dead.
Jeffrey Dean Morgan.
Yeah, that's not Denny from Grey's, is it?
Yeah, it is.
Hold on.
Because then he was also the dad on Supernatural.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, he was in it with Jack Quaid, and I did kind of like Jack in this role better. He plays a guy with like schizophrenia, and it was okay. It wasn't the greatest, but
did you watch him in Novocaine?
No,
I haven't watched that yet.
I think you probably like him in that.
I like Jack Quaid, but I also like Jack Quaid because I loved The Boys before.
And his character in Novocaine is very similar to Huey, I would say.
Yeah. And I think there are certain things that like, I like Jack Quaid, but I just feel like certain actors hit people certain ways, and I completely get that. So for me, before I would say Saw, but then I kind of got schooled on that. And especially with Ashley and Angie, and they kind of reversed the way that I thought about that. It kind of showed me like the brilliance in things.
Yeah, that's crazy work, bro.
Well, I kind of think it got released at a time where they were doing like a lot of those like torture porn movies almost.
That one kind of kicked it off though. But even that, the first one wasn't even all that torture-y.
Yeah.
That didn't really start until I'd say maybe the fourth one.
Yeah, and I loved the first one, but after all of those, I would definitely say I just was like, after the first one, I just was not very interested. But I also, going through this, I've kind of found my way of horror. Like when I started out at this, some of the giallo films would kind of terrify me just because of like it's supposed to terrify you, like the eye stuff and everything like that. But, eventually I kind of came back to it and I was like, damn, I've really been fucking sleeping on these the whole entire fucking time. I think you can come back after you've like done that. Like Nightbreed, when I first watched it the first time, I was fucking terrified of it. Like I was like, Brittany, you are going to put me in the hospital. I'm going to have a heart attack. Like, what the fuck is this shit? Like, I remember specifically him the guy ripping his face off. And I'm like, I'm going to need intense therapy after this. Like, how am I going to go home to my parents and explain that I watched this movie that I shouldn't have? Now I'm afraid people are going to rip off their faces. Like,
my favorite giallo or giallo-esque movie is Demons.
Yeah. Yeah. Demons is good. There are a lot, and I will say shout out to Michael Cooper. I love you, Michael. But Michael has also kind of like helped me kind of go into that with like Fulci films and just seeing the brilliance and everything. And I've kind of gone deeper with that, but I definitely think it just depends on like going back around and like watching things that you might not necessarily, because like you especially if you're learning like your horror style, even if you've watched horror the whole entire time, you could go through periods where your life changes and then your aspects change on movies, and you can kind of go through and rewatch them and be like, you know what, this really wasn't as bad as it thought. And I think my first year doing Horrorcraft, I kind of learned a lot of like behind the scenes stuff about movies and how people really like put their hearts and souls into things and how they craft their characters. And it just made me respect things so much more. So I was like, these movies that I'm scared of, like somebody deeply put their whole personality into it. So like I could at least try to like look into this and like go deeper. And so I did that. So for me though, overrated. I don't know. There are some, okay. Overrated for me. The Conjuring series. I like the Conjuring movies, but I do just feel like somebody feels like they watch that movie and all of a sudden they're a horror fan.
Yeah.
And I don't like the effect of that. I don't.
Because at the core of it, they're honestly so basic.
Yeah,
they are. They're very mainstream, cookie cutter. Like, it's just, there are so many other great horror movies out there besides The Conjuring. All the Conjuring series. Yes, am I gonna watch the new one? Yeah, but like when you tell me that's your favorite horror movie, I want to check your horror card.
Yeah, like people put if it's usually The Conjuring versus Insidious. I'm a Insidious horror all day, every day, because that at least gives us something inventive with that type of supernatural genre.
Yeah, because I just feel like with Insidious, you created a whole other world.
Universe.
The Conjuring series, like, I'm sorry, and maybe, again, I need to hold people's hand when I say this, but Ed and Lorraine Warren were kind of con men, like con people. They kind of like con people that they shouldn't have, took advantage of people they shouldn't have. And I'm sorry, maybe I'm just deeply upset with them still about the way that they massively screwed over La Llorona. That's offensive. I'm just going to say it right here, right now. If you get a chance, go watch the actual like Spanish film that is on Shudder. That is worlds better. But like, they just make choices that don't make sense. And it's just like the characters they could focus on that have like true potential, they don't push further. Like the Crooked Man was probably one of the best parts of The Conjuring 2. And instead, you pick other like characters, like you did the nun and you did that, and Valak is scary. I will give you that, but
Valak was only scary in The Conjuring 2 because she wasn't as CGI'd and she was so subtly used.
Yeah, and I just feel like it wasn't terrible, and I went to go see the nun in theaters when it came out, and it, like the Romania part of it and stuff, I enjoyed that, and I think it is but like there are some underrated ones that are in there. Like I think the best one, honestly, is Annabelle 2.
I agree.
And I feel like that was just because there were so many conscious decisions and it really did go through your throat. But I just feel like it kind of just like really massively like it really just did more, like, you know what I mean? Like I don't know, maybe it's just my frustration, but like this is just like really just hold on one second. What I was gonna say, because there was some noise going on in the background, I'm just gonna say it. School goes back in a week, and I am thankful because I'm not going to survive much longer. I have a preteen right now, and if you've heard anything in the background, we're going to try, to scrub everything, make everything sound nice. But if you hear anything in the background, just know my child is roasting his father, and I'm trying to, stress the importance of mom recording, but teenage hormones are great. So, but what I was saying is I just don't like Cody brought this up a little when we were talking, waiting for Kylie to come back, but they've taken a lot of liberties with their story, and I understand, you're building a horror movie franchise off of them. You have to make them look good. But this last film, especially, it was like, we're saving these people through the power of our love. Yay! And it's like, yeah, that's not the real Ed and Lorraine Warren. So, and I just, yeah, and I'm not taking validity because who knows? Annabelle could be possessed, could not be possessed. There could be things going on. Their whole collection.
That's a whole nother conversation we could get into. We're not.
Yeah, that, and one day we might finally crack open and talk about Ed and Lorraine Warren. But like, I just think they're just kind of, it's a basic answer because it's a popular franchise series. To me, my favorite James Wan movie, well, actually my favorite Lee Wynell movie will always be Dead Silence. Because I love that. I wish they would spend more time and focus on like doing a remake with that, with the new technology, or doing a sequel or something with it, because I remember being gagged in that movie. And I also grew up in an era where there was Slappy the Clown, and I never thought somebody could like out scare Slappy the Clown, and Dead Silence did that. Like that whole sequence when all the dolls on the wall move at the same time, like I would probably pee myself if I saw that in real life. Not gonna lie. But I just don't think The Conjuring, it's a good movie, but I wouldn't say that that's James Wan's best movie. Yeah. And I actually think more recently, one of the better movies that James Wan did was Malignant.
Yes.
Yeah, I feel like that gets slept on because it does seem kind of weird and out there and stuff like that. But I mean, it was his take on a Giallo movie, so I think that's valid.
They also, they promoted it as if it was going to be something along the lines of Conjuring and all that too.
Yeah, and I feel like if they would have marketed...
It was such a hard movie to promote for what it is, I would say. So you're kind of stuck in that limbo area.
Yeah, I feel like they did it a disservice. So I don't know. Let us know your thoughts below, but not hating. Listen, I'll still watch the Conjuring movies, give them a shot, and I respect them.
I'm excited for the new one. I think it's
I think it's cool. I think it's cool the things they're doing, because I know, like me living by Cedar Point, there's like an add-on feature that they're doing a Conjuring house with that, with a lot of the Six Flags like places, and Cedar Point is one of them, and they're doing a Conjuring house experience thing. Am I going to pay for that? No, but I think that's kind of cool that that's like one of the first things I've actually like been able to be like, hey, that's by me and be cool. So I'm excited to see like, are they going to have like Conjuring stuff at Cedar Point, and like I actually get the experience of going into a park and seeing like horror merch from something there. I mean, that's kind of fun, but
listen, the only thing I care about the Conjuring house right now is the actual Conjuring house and the fucking absolutely batshit crazy owner, Jacqueline Nunez. Yes, I am calling you out, ho. I am. You're fucking nuts. You need to sell that house and you need to go turn yourself in because you got a warrant.
Kylie might also be a little she might have a little personal knowledge to this, because somehow from her just making a very like blanket statement, she got blocked by Jacqueline Nunez from the Conjuring house page and everything else. So she knows what she's talking about. But
to quote Lizzo, truth hurts.
Yeah, exactly.
This lady is absolutely batshit fucking crazy. And like, there's nothing going on at the Conjuring house right now from what I've been reading lately. Like, it just looks kind of abandoned. It's not being kept up. Like, the grass needs cut. But the owner, I don't even, I don't know. There's something really wrong with her mentally, and she has warrants in not Rhode Island, state near wherever the Conjuring house is. I think Rhode Island, but a near state. She has a warrant for I believe a DUI, and like they keep postponing the court date, but she's not going. Like, she's just the stuff she was talking about, like she's not even talking about anything about the Conjuring house on the page. She's talking about people are after her, workers and employees were stealing money. Like, it almost like from first glance you could think, like, is she possessed by something from the house? No, she just has like mental issues. And if she came out
and she said she was possessed, I think that would be more, we would respect that a little bit more than like just thinking this is a crazy lady that, it's not to mention she strong-armed the people who formerly owned this house into getting this house, and then also sent death threats to like Jason from Taps, and like made very like pointed statements. So let's just keep that in regards. But that's a horror movie that I could be like, hey, yeah, totally see that, like whatever. But and again, I'll go see the new Conjuring movie. I think it's also at the end of an era, and it's kind of cool. But I just don't think it's the end all to be all. I think there's a lot cooler movies out there, and movies that I feel like probably deserve a little bit more spotlight than they're getting. So definitely check us out for some recommendations. But thank you, Cody, for doing that. And sorry, guys, that this is taking an hour to get into urban legends, but we yap and get into conversations here. So massive soil effect in place, but urban legend. We've all kind of heard some urban legends. If you grew up in a small town, Cody, you grew up in a small town, right?
Yes.
Okay, so we've all grown up in a small town. Are there any urban legends from your small town that you've like lived rent free in your head?
Oh gosh, if I could remember, a lot of them were just from my elementary school days that were probably just made up. But by my elementary school, it was like up on a hill, and then you go down the hill. That was like the hill we always sledded down in the winter. And then there was a playground at the bottom, but then there was also woods with a trail. And there was talk that there was a man that lived in the woods and, use your imagination with stuff like that. Never heard any like truth to that, but it was just playground talk. But,
Yeah, Kylie, what about you? Well, I mean,
we had
Well, yeah,
Well,
I was about to say you grew up in Springfield, but right now you live like bordering Bigfoot country.
yeah. Well, back home in Springfield, there's a Crybaby Bridge.
Oh yeah.
And like if I feel like there's a Crybaby Bridge everywhere. I went there one time. I don't know. I was intoxicated. Don't think I heard a baby crying or anything. But where I live now in Southern Ohio, there is a lot of things. There's a lot of extraterrestrial activity. This is Bigfoot country. I do live close to, Point Pleasant, West Virginia, and like Mothman. Where I live now, there's a lot of Indian heritage. So there's stuff with that. I have been told you do not whistle after dark. There is actually a place, it's called the Haunted Orchard. And I believe they put on like a haunt every year. But maybe about a year ago, something got caught like on one of their trail camps, and it
I remember
like
that.
It looked like a skinwalker werewolf type thing. And I don't think it was like anything AI, nothing like that. I think it was pretty
No, it looked pretty organic. Kylie said it to me as she was like, what the fuck am I gonna do? This is close by my house. Like
yeah. Well,
it was
and
scary.
like, there's like the A plant that is fairly close to where I live too. And even around my area where I live back in the woods, there is a abandoned bunker that was a part of like government property. And I don't know what it is, but it's fairly fucking creepy. But I guess that's kind of like why there's a lot of extraterrestrial activity.
That would make sense. See, so obviously I grew up in Sandusky by the lake, and it's so funny because obviously everyone knows Sandusky for like Tommy Boy, and they just had a Tommy Boy festival. I missed the one day and I felt so bad because his brother was the comedian there, but like Lake Erie has a lot of it, like haunted shipwrecks, and like you'll see a ghost ship at night, watch it like passing by, and different things like that. The big one is Loch Ness. Like there's a Loch Ness monster in Lake Erie. Ness, they call her Nessie. There's like whole things about it. Vermilion, like closer where I live, there's Wakeman, and it's a Gore orphanage, and it's like the story about this orphanage that burned down and some children died. And if you go on this road where it's at, and it's very creepy, it's a very secluded area. You put baby powder. There's supposed to be children handprints on your car. People have heard like there's a movie, I think, even about it.
Oh, fingerprints.
Yeah, I think
it's like they put their car in neutral over before these train tracks, and then
so
some cavalry in it.
Yeah, so I remember that specifically, but and then like downtown Sandusky, a lot of the buildings have catacombs because that is the Underground Railroad was funneled out into Lake Erie. That's how they got people in and out during that period of time and got people to freedom. So there are supposedly catacombs in different places. A lot of the older homes in downtown Sandusky are supposed to have like there's rumors that there's like connecting tunnels, and I always joke that I'm afraid to go in the building, the building that I interned in before, the Beckling building. I joked that I didn't want to go in the basement because knowing my luck, I would like end up like in the fucking lake, and that would be just my luck. I'd just dip out. So the only catacombs I want to see are the ones that have the Phantom in it, but they have it supposedly under the State Theater. there's supposed to be things with the State Theater. They say like the State Theater is haunted. I've never gotten that vibe from the State Theater, but I mean, a lot of those buildings are like 1800s, like different things. So, but I think we've all kind of grown up with some urban legends and like talk of different things happening and tragedies. So it's kind of interesting to see this manifested in a movie. So now watching this as an older Cassandra versus a younger Cassandra, it's interesting to see those kind of nuances. So, but to briefly like break this movie down, it is a movie about kind of the worst possible scenario, which is, you know, a bunch of random events start happening around you, deaths, and they're made to look like accidents. And two people piece it together and realize there is possibly a killer on the loose. And we find out through that it's kind of somebody's fault. We'll get into that, but that somebody is taking their vengeance on this group of friends, and in the worst way possible. And it's just terrifying. So out of all of the urban legends that are in this film, what's the one that stands out the most to you guys, like the most terrifying? Because I already know mine, like straight off the bat, but which one was the most terrifying to you?
The opening scene, the backseat.
Yeah. For me, the dog.
That was pretty bad.
Which is okay. This, don't come for me, internet. Okay. I was a child when I did this. All right. But my friend and I were just talking about this, but my mom used to babysit my best friend, and we were like 4 or 5 at the time. And I had one of those like play kitchens, and we would play vets, and we had our calico cat Snickers. And a lot of times we would put her in the microwave in the play kitchen and be like, you're going into surgery, or you're going to see the doctor here. And like, now looking back at it, I'm like, that's a horrible thing. Like, I don't know what possessed me in that aspect, but okay. So, but now watching this movie, I'm like, damn, I really shouldn't have been doing. But again, I was only 4 or 5 at the time, but I was like, that was not a good idea. So, but that one, that terrifies me, because that's just like, how would that even happen? Like, how do you leave your animal in the microwave is my question after like seeing that. But that's just terrifying. So the Drano was another one for me that freaked me out.
Yeah, I remember seeing that. Like the first time I saw this movie, it's literally one of my first horror movies I ever watched. Mm-hmm. And I watched it while staying the night at my older sister Ashley's house. And I remember just being so like off put by the when Parker died with the Drano, and I was just like, holy shit, this is so fucking cool, but like, oh my god.
Yeah, the one I think that like this time around really kind of affected me more than maybe in the beginning was the one with the car and the hanging. Dean? Yeah. And
that stuck with me too, because then for quite a while after I saw it for the first time, which unfortunately was on Sci-Fi, so it was edited, so I had to wait till like I found a video store that actually had like the R-rated one. But I always had the paranoia of getting my ankles slashed from someone underneath the car.
Yeah, it just like, I'm a big history buff, and so obviously I think of like, you know, they say your Achilles, you know, the whole like thing with that. But I just think of like how that just, for some reason, that was like hit me harder this time. like just somebody like doing that to like my foot, especially because a lot of people don't know this, but Kylie might have seen it, but I actually have a scar on my foot from when I decided it would be a great idea to wear no shoes running through the house at 13 at my neighbor's house, and the back of the door hit me and literally cut the back of my foot open, and it's a big, and that was the first time I ever had to have stitches, and I ran through my neighbor's white carpeted house with bloody footprints, and so my dad actually had to like stop me because I'm like running around freaking out, but I still have a scar on my foot from that, and I vividly remember how horrifying that was, like having the stitches back there, getting the stitches taken out, like how that still affects me now. So thinking about like, and that's not far from the area from where he got the back of his feet slashed, I kind of am horrified.
Yeah.
So I feel like that just hit me harder. Who in this cast surprised you the most? Because there are a lot of people that just pop up out of this movie.
Well, honestly, at the time I saw it, I wasn't familiar with all these people because I hadn't watched like Dawson's Creek yet to know Joshua Jackson. I think I might have. Well, maybe Danielle Harris. I think I saw Wish Upon a Star before I saw this, so maybe that was probably the most surprising.
I think at the time, the person that stood the most out to me watching this when I watched it, obviously, is Robert Englund. But now,
that too.
Yeah, but now the most surprising person that like stood out to me was I forgot that Tara Reid was in this and who she played in this movie for a minute. So that we were watching it, I was like, oh, Tara Reid, hey.
Yeah.
But
she did a good job in this movie.
She did fantastic. And I also think like some of the humor I picked up better on in this movie, like watching it this time around. Like, don't tell me why. I've never really clocked this the full time when I've watched this. And maybe it's because I like watched it a couple times before us filming this. But when Joshua Jackson, when they're in the car and he is I don't want to wait for my
Yes.
and he turns on the radio. I had to pause it because I was fucking dying of laughter. Don't tell me why, but just as like somebody who grew up with like Dawson's Creek being on TV and remembering all of that, like people being invested in it, like people are with Love Island now. Like it just made me laugh. I was like, they really put that in the movie. Okay, cool.
Yep.
So, and it's just some of the jokes and the way that they like took liberties with some humor in
like
this.
Using
like,
the urban legend about the gerbil up Richard Gere's ass.
Yes.
Yeah.
Then,
I think my favorite one was the Pop Rocks.
The Pop Rocks.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we've all been terrified as that.
Yeah, I was literally terrified of that when I was a kid.
It's just kind of crazy to me, and I don't know, like the funny thing about it is like we kind of forget for a minute that like the whole reason like we get introduced to the urban legends is because Robert Englund is the professor that does it.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's kind of like, what did you do there, Robert? What did you do? What demons did you let out of the box? But I kind of also forgot that the girl in the beginning of the movie, like that's the one I didn't realize stuff like obviously back then because I hadn't watched obviously as many movies, but the girl that dies in the beginning, she's been in a lot of stuff too. And so I instantly recognized her. I'm trying to pull up the IMDb right now, but and Loretta Devine, I forgot Loretta Devine was the cop in this. And I absolutely love Loretta Devine.
So great. I love
Oh,
her.
Me
and everything
too.
she's in.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes.
You were talking about the girl in the opening.
Yeah,
See,
Natasha Gregerson Wagner.
yeah, her
And
mom was Natalie Wood,
yes,
which
Really?
I'm not like really familiar. I know her name, but I'm not familiar with her work. So like they were trying to treat her as if she was like the Drew Barrymore of this movie. I'm like, I don't know her though.
Okay, so do you want to know where I know her from? And I'm a fucking nerd. I'm gonna take that now. But Cody, you had talked about vampires, John Carpenter's Vampires. John Carpenter's Vampires has a sequel called Vampires Los Muertos. And she's in it. She's one of the main characters. She is the one that gets like inflicted by these visions. And
Okay.
I love that movie. John Bon Jovi is in it as a vampire hunter. And it is the greatest thing since sliced bread. I love Bon Jovi in that movie is just, he's great. He's everything. He is the moment. Like I wish he would have done so much more with horror, because you could say he's cheesy or not, but he just made the whole thing. But I immediately clocked that it was her, but then she's just done like a lot of like other roles with it. And like she's been in like she was in ER, she was in Medium, she was in House, like she was in a lot of different things that came up. So it was just very interesting to see her in this movie, and I clocked that she was from Vampires Los Muertos. So I was like,
And then for her to have this big opening scene, an honestly underrated cold open to me, and have that be with Brad Dourif.
yes. Yeah. And I think it just doesn't get enough recognition from it, because it is terrifying. And actually, fun fact, and we'll get into those later, but they actually had to change the type of car they were using because of that scene. So originally they were planning on using, I think it was the SUV driven in the beginning was originally supposed to be a Land Rover. It was changed to the Ford Expedition, which, fun fact, I have a Ford Expedition. But no, I have a Ford Explorer. Sorry, we did look at an Expedition, but the largest 4x4 available at the time, because filmmakers discovered they could not swing an axe inside of a Land Rover. So it got changed.
I mean, good to do your homework on that.
Yeah. So for those of you out here who are thinking about a Land Rover and you don't want to be murdered, plus side, somebody brings an axe in your car, they're not going to be able to do it. So, just if that's a concern, just letting you know. But we kind of talked about this before we even started this. The thing I think that annoys me the most is how they treat Danielle Harris's character in this, Tosh, because like they just paint Tosh out like, you degenerate goth, you blah blah blah.
Calling her manic depressive.
Yeah,
just
manic.
Assuming she unalived herself.
Yeah.
It's just crazy because
just because she painted half her room black, she just decided to end it. Okay.
Yeah. It just the way they painted her out to be, but like she's Danielle motherfucking Harris, like, and she's like the perfect. She's like top tier goth in this movie. Mind you, what the fuck was her campus budget for moving in? Because she was like 2 seconds away from being like full on Dracula's lair in that bitch. And I respect it. I really do. Because like that takes some effort. Like she had full on candelabras in there.
She had a big
like,
the opera looking type bed in there.
Yeah. I was like, how did you get that in? Like, I would be the person that would be so impressed by that. I may look like pastel pink princess, but when I see something like that, I'm like, mad respect, man. Like, I would just be so highly impressed. I also kind of didn't like how they kind of used her, not only mental illness, but like her sexuality against her. I feel like they did that with some of the characters in this. And I mean, I get it. It's kind of a sign of the times, right? But
sexuality thing is sort of how the real life urban legend of that is.
Yeah.
Because she knows that it's like
Yeah.
the real legend. The friend was having like sex a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, and I totally get that, but I also feel like they did that to a lot of the characters with this movie, like with Joshua Jackson's, like, yeah, he's a fuck boy, so of course he would be the one to go out like that and kind of stuff like that, which I mean, again, plays into the stereotype and the whole theme behind it being the urban legend and stuff like that. But it just was kind of like some of the characters, if you weren't Alicia Witt as Natalie in this movie, it kind of almost made it seem like, you dirty sluts, of course you're gonna die. Like that kind of almost repertoire in parts of this. Which looking through,
I liked how they did Sasha. She wasn't as stereotypical as she could have been. Like she was calling Parker out on his shit all the time.
Yeah, so I really like that, and I really like that they chose Tara Reid for that. Because let's be honest, a lot of people throughout Tara Reid's career, they kind of did her dirty with like making her seem like she was just this dumb kind of person. And I fucking love Tara Reid. I think she's incredible. I think she doesn't get enough respect for a lot of the things she does. Like, I've seen a ton of things that Tara Reid are in it. I've even seen the Crow movie that Tara Reid was in with David Boreanaz. And I will tell you, the least atrocious thing about that movie was Tara Reid. She was great. So her character and the way she was written, trash. But herself, she was great. So, but I like that they did that. And I also like that, like, although she does get murdered in a certain way, like she really is fucking fighting. Like, I mean, she falls off that ledge, she still gets up, like she
Tara did her own stunts with that too.
Yeah, and it's incredible. So I think that's great. But I just think like some of the characters, and I feel like then in later entries in this movie, they do kind of maybe try to change that a little bit, and I'd be interested, especially given like future prospects, and we'll talk about that in a minute, where they're going to go with that in the future. But I just kind of was like, okay, this probably sign of the times. Now, if they do it in a new one, I'll probably fight them on the street. Yeah. So, because I think we can have the urban legend without kind of playing into that. I can understand certain ones. I get it. But like in this day and age, yeah, no. So, but I do feel like it just is, it's such a smart slasher in so many different ways. And I hate that people don't look with it as much respect as some of the other peers around that time. Like,
and they write it off as a ripoff of Scream, and like it is not.
It's the farthest thing from Scream. I really do feel that way. Like,
yes.
It's not Scream. Like, Scream, yes, it is a person doing the commit, but they're using basically storytelling against these people, and kind of outmaneuvering them. It's kind of like it's almost like our version of fairy tales, you know what I mean? Urban legends had become our form of fairy tales at that point in time, because you think like Bloody Mary, Candyman, like all these different things that kind of got pushed into the forefront around that time, those all came from urban legends.
And even on their campus, they have, the Stanley Hall with its own little urban legend. And that's the thing, too. You go to college, you're going to hear urban legends about certain dorms or certain classroom buildings.
Yeah, and it's just one of those things where it's kind of, it is more of an organic story than I think people give it credit for. Because it's something
different. It's such a cool concept. And I think it was just like ahead of its time. Like, I don't know why people it's great. The only thing I can complain about is I don't like fucking Natalie. I hated her character this time.
When you look at her scene with Damon, she is not having any of it. She sees through his shit and she clocks him right in the face. I wanted this Natalie throughout the whole movie. But instead
exactly.
she turns whining and sniveling, and especially at the party where she's talking to Paul, she's like, what is he trying to do to me? I'm like, girl.
Yeah, and it's sad because it's not Alicia Witt, because her I mean, she just killed it in Long Legs and killed that performance. And she does such incredible bodies of work. Like, you want to talk about somebody that kind of diversified after this. Like, Alicia Witt has gone in 1,000 different ways, and then people all of a sudden then picked back up on her after she killed it in Long Legs. But like, it's like, no, she's been killing it this whole time. Like, she's been in a ton of stuff. Like, she was in Stargirl. I'm looking through her IMDb right now, but like, there were a lot of things I remember her being in. She was in the Exorcist TV show. She was in she's been in Supernatural. She was in the Twin Peaks like reboot or whatever that was in 2017. She's been in The Walking Dead before, but like, she really just did a lot of different things after going off and doing that. But then
she's done a whole lot of Hallmark stuff, hasn't she?
She is in a ton of Hallmark stuff. I know that she was in a lot of Dick Wolf stuff for a time period, because I remember she did a 5-episode arc on Law and Order Criminal Intent, but I know that she's been in like other things as well. I remember her specifically. I don't know if you guys remember this, but Talking Rom-Coms, 2 Weeks Notice,
yes,
where she's the girl that Hugh that they go off with, and like Sandra Bullock's
she's trying
character.
to bone Hugh Grant and all that.
Yep, she is, and it's just, I mean, she's done a lot. But you know, a lot of people, I think, didn't give her enough credit, and then she pops up in Long Legs, and that's incredible. And I will tell you, as somebody who has a family member that kind of I have that sort of relationship with, and we talked about this on our Long Legs episode, she did kill that, because that was one of the parts of Long Legs that really affected me in a way that I did not fully understand until afterwards. And I think only someone like her could do it. But her character in this movie, I'm sorry, is ass. Mm-hmm. It really is. Like, I feel like she's not as strong, because then you see in like 2 and 3, like 2 especially, some of the female characters in 2, I just felt like were a lot stronger. Urban Legend 2. So, and even the Bloody Mary one, that's 3. There are some stronger characters.
They just had more grit to them throughout.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like they kind of didn't want her to take up as much room. I wish they would just have given her half the fight that they gave Sasha. Yes. You know, because I feel like she does try to fight in certain parts, but like, you start off the movie with her best friend being murdered, and she doesn't fight half as hard as her friend does in the beginning of that, the sequence of that movie. So it's just one of those things that it's kind of like, where do you go from there?
Right.
So
I do want to shout out Michael Rosenbaum too. It's kind of like the dick character of Parker. Like, I think he was an enjoyable dick. He wasn't like Ryan Phillippe in I Know It's Last Summer. He was funny, but he's like, God, I would not want to be around this guy kind of thing either.
Yeah.
Because he was in this before he went on to be freaking amazing as Lex Luthor on Smallville. And up until this recent Superman, he was the best Lex Luthor to me.
Oh, 100%. And the fact that the fact that fans go so hard for him, so hard, in fact, that he showed up in the new Superman as like a quick, like, blink and you miss it kind of thing, tells you specifically. But like, he's done a lot. And Michael Rosenbaum, actually, shout out to him, but he has an incredible podcast that he gets a lot of really great people to come in there and talk just authentically about things. And I feel like he is one of the people like celebrities I enjoy the most that have a podcast, because you get like the authenticity behind it, and I really just kind of respect him for that.
Yeah,
so
like I listened to his Jennifer Love Hewitt episodes, and I think I remember saying that his was either the first or one of the very first like podcasts she ever did.
yeah, she was great, and he actually did a podcast with, oh my gosh, who am I thinking of at the time? He did a podcast episode with Jensen Ackles, and they talked about him and Jessica, because a lot of people forget Jensen Ackles was in Dark Angel with Jessica Alba. But they talked about the fact that they kind of had like some discourse, but like the way that he talks about situations just makes me feel, because like Jensen Ackles is one of those people that really don't talk about things, and he was like, just so we are aware, like Jessica is a sweetheart, but it was just kind of like the top, like things that were being put, and the way that they kind of ruffled feathers with certain things, and just kind of things that she was going through at the time. Like since then we've been cool, but I think it's just like the fact that he gets people to have authentic conversations. Like I've seen Kurt Sutter from Sons of Anarchy, and oh my gosh, Married with Children. Oh my God.
Katie Seagal.
Yeah, that's Kurt Sutter's wife, and they talked authentically about Sons of Anarchy, and how when he did the Mayans, how he had to like wash his hands of it, because he kind of like, and he just, a very authentic conversation. So I would definitely say like he is one of those people that if he is talking, like if he's doing an episode about something, he's very informed, and he doesn't do it as a performative kind of thing.
And he has such a soothing voice too.
He does. I feel like he should narrate bedtime stories. Like
I'm gonna check this out.
Yeah,
it's called Inside of You.
Yep. What was it again, Cody?
Inside of You.
Yeah, it's called Inside of You. Yeah, and he also does like a lot of like nerdier interviews, and he can go toe to toe when it comes to knowledge and different things, because when he was doing Lex Luthor in Smallville, like he really committed to it, and that was his like life, and he really took that with a lot of responsibility. So like he's got a lot of knowledge when it comes to things. So I think that's incredible. So I love him, and I do think that this is like a better way, because we all know how I feel about I Know What You Did Last Summer. I feel like Ryan Phillippe is the problem, not Sarah Michelle Gellar's character is the problem. And Kylie and I have had a discourse about that. But I feel like if she had lived, Sarah Michelle Gellar's character would have been a better friend to Jennifer Love Hewitt's and I Know What You Did Last Summer. Kylie doesn't like that theory, but I feel like her boyfriend was a lot of the problem, because let's face it, she was conditioned by her family to be treated like shit. So if her family was treating her like shit in a prop, and her boyfriend was treating her like shit in a prop, what do you think is going to happen?
Valid.
So I think she would have been a better friend. So I haven't seen the new I Know What You Did Last Summer. I may update that statement with different knowledge, or add things to it depending on what happens. But so to wrap this up, kind of, because we've really just gone into it, and I will link down below some fun facts where you can find on IMDb about some behind the scenes things. What do you think is something, if you were trying to convince somebody to watch this movie, what would be like your elevator pitch for it? Like, what would if you could tell like one sentence, like convince somebody you must watch it because of this, what would it be?
Do you like a fun, fresh, and original concept? Do you love a very solid whodunit and a very creepy killer? Then absolutely check this movie out.
Yeah.
And the look of this killer, the parka, sure, there are times where it's like, looks like it's hot as shit out and they're wearing this thing. I know that there's like behind the scenes trivia on that too, like they're because of the weather, but I feel like it's underrated as far as the look.
It is, because if you think about it, have you seen ATM?
Yep.
Okay. Think about ATM. That's like a very similar version, right?
Yeah.
And how effective that fucking is.
There's a parka like this in a slasher movie called Dead Tone.
Yes. Yes, I have seen it. So, Kylie, what about you? What would be your pitch to watch this movie?
I'd say if you like slashers and like a good revenge slasher with creative kills and like childhood, urban legends you heard but play out in a horror movie, you need to watch this.
Yeah, because okay, I feel like Natalie and her friend should have been the one that just bit the dust. The other people shouldn't have got brought into it, like we were talking about, but like Natalie and her friend definitely bring this upon them because they are popular girls in high school. They decide to play a really fucked up game and they took somebody's life. Now, am I saying that Rebecca Gayheart's character should have taken out a whole circle of people at a college because of it? No, but you kind of can't blame her, especially if that was
because like that game, and like granted, I am fully on board with like teenagers are not capable of making sound correct decisions.
But they knew what they were doing.
But you knew what you were doing, and like. That is, I don't know, just when it comes to driving and things like that, I'm very sensitive about. And like, I just don't like joking or playing while driving, doing things like that. I'm just not okay with. Like,
all they got was probation.
Yeah,
all they got was probation, and it's
killing somebody.
It's because that they were white and popular, and they had futures. I'm sure. I don't know exactly what family financial things were, but I'm sure like they. Not completely well off, but well enough to have a decent lawyer. And they got off extremely fucking easy. Like you got what you deserved.
Yeah, and it's just kind of like it would have been different if you had seen Natalie have a conversation with her, like a throwback to her deceased friend, and her like calling her out on it and being like, you took that too far. I was trying to stop you, like, and taking full responsibility for it, but like recognizing that was wrong. But there was never really, even though she does like say, oh yeah, we did this and it was so bad, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, but I don't think she was at all remorseful because like, why aren't you talking about it? Because when it comes about like, she was on probation for this, like, I mean, I guess, I would want people to know that, but like, there was just no guilt or remorse that I felt from her. She was just like trying to move on from it and like be super under the I don't know.
Yeah,
like I'm just very sensitive.
Paul tried to call her out on it. She's like, it was in high school, Paul. Forget about it.
Yeah, like that's not high school. Wasn't that long ago for you, bruh?
Yeah, it'd be different if we were talking about somebody who was 50 years old and they had gone off probation, they had done their time, they had really tried to make amends and gone and done something. But it's just like she never really fully did it. Now, am I saying Brenda, was a little crazy and we don't know if her boyfriend was trying to like not be with her at the time or like maybe backstory to it. We don't see Brenda before the crazy, right? Yeah. So we don't know if maybe this did like drive her crazy. It made it
sound like they were both not the most well-off people because he couldn't afford a ring to give to her, so he gave her a necklace.
Yeah, and the fact that because of her privilege and her friend's privilege that she got off on it, and it's just that, so you do feel a lot for Brenda because you're like, okay, yes, you did like get probation and you're dealing with but they're not really fucking consequences because this person's gone. Am I saying she should go out and murder a whole friend group? No, but like you wouldn't have blamed her if she did kind of take her own personal revenge on these people because they crossed the ultimate line. Now, where I stop at that is you didn't have to do Loretta Devine like that. She was just trying to do her job. You didn't have to stab her like that. She made it. I'm glad she did. But like, you could have left the poor security guard out of it, okay?
She's the real hero of this movie too.
She really is, because she's dealing with shit the whole time. Like her talking about the dean behind his back, like when he's like I'm the dean and blah blah, and she's like mouthing "fuck you." I've never felt something so deeply in my soul in my life. Like, you just know that this woman is underpaid, undervalued, and she's just trying to keep shit together. And these privileged people keep fucking up her shit.
And she's the one doing work too. Like when she's talking about trying to call the police from campus, and she's like, y'all are talking about protect and serve, but when something happens, you don't do shit. She's speaking facts.
Yeah, I was like,
literally,
if they had just let her be the decision maker in this movie, we would have had it wrapped up in like 20 minutes.
And I love they brought her back for the sequel too.
Yes, I do too. I think that that's so great. So moving really quickly onto this, they recently announced that they're going to be doing a reboot of Urban Legends. How do we feel about that?
I'm for it. And at this point, why not? They're rebooting so many other things. So
I think it makes
there's
sense.
a plethora of urban legends in the world. And even now, like, I don't know how popping creepypasta is nowadays, but there's so much of that creep floating around in more other areas of the internet. I heard it's supposed to be kind of a cyber theme.
I think that
you can do with that.
I feel like that would be good, because so when I was preparing for this episode, Kylie and I have talked about it before, but something that I don't feel like gets brought up enough, and now is classified as an urban legend, is back in 2016, where all those clowns were just popping up. People were doing the whole clown thing all over, and they were just popping up. Like, we had that happen here, where there were people like joking around like that.
That was so fucking crazy. I actually just came across I think a found footage movie on Tubi about that, and these two guys that go and investigate it and they go missing. I want to check out, but like that was
I don't know if it's the same one,
wild.
but there's one on Shudder that I watched it a few years ago. It was called Gags the Clown.
Oh, I'm gonna have to watch that now. But I feel like creepypasta is another one.
Was there anything that ever came about that actually? Like,
no, they never did. Like, it was just, it was kind of, you kind of feel like maybe was it a kind of like TikTok trend before TikTok? You know what I mean? Like, social media trend.
Was it even fucking real? Like, was it like like the Mandela effect? Like, did that really even happen?
I think didn't it happen like not long before Chapter 1 came out?
Yes. Yeah. Actually, it was like, I think it was like right around that time period where like clowns were gaining popularity again. So, but creepypasta is another thing that got brought up, like that you do think about, because now we do have like the internet added into this, where at the time that Urban Legends came out, that was just something that was really starting up. And so now you have so many different layers to it. Like Sasha, she did the radio station, but now we have podcasters and like ourselves, and we have content creators and different things. So it would be interesting to see how they would take that on.
Yeah, you have like a podcast basically about urban legends, and someone like taking that to a new level, and then going back to creepypasta, you have stuff like that happening in real life. Someone taking the urban legend of Slender Man and look at those girls in Wisconsin.
Yeah.
One of them just got out.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
Yeah, or like okay, so like another component of that is like the way that we see people take that in true crime now, because kind of piggybacking off of it, look at what happened with Lori and Chad Daybell, like, and how she was a fan of like his, like, with like the doomsday cult and stuff and everything like that, and how they turned that around. And you still have a lot of people like that, where you have these, more of a spotlight now on these people that probably normally, 50 years ago could have flown under the radar. They were in your churches, and you don't have as much of the spotlight on them. But now we have, such big binoculars on with people because of, you know, the way that we've had tragedies and, you know, mass shootings and all these different like horrible acts that have happened. And so you see so many things devolve from it. And COVID is another thing that brought up like a lot of that. We had a lot of different things that happened during lockdown where people went crazy because of being locked down and the fear and the paranoia and everything like that. So it's definitely something that I feel like can be brought upon, but urban legends are something that hasn't gone away. They've just evolved. And I do think it's something they could work upon. Plus, you know, we're talking about a movie that came out in the 90s. Now we're talking an era where we can kind of do more things. So some deeper urban legends can be kind of unearthed versus like doing more grassroots stuff like this. So I'd be very interested to see. I'll give anything a watch, and I feel like they could do something just so out of the box and different. So that's just my take.
One question I have for you.
Yeah.
Both, actually.
Woo-hoo.
How surprised were you when the reveal came that it was Brenda? Like, for me, I was blown away. I was like, what?
Yeah.
Like, I didn't expect her at all. And to this day, I still consider that to be one of my favorite twists in horror.
Yeah.
I don't think I was as gagged about that. The reason I feel like I wasn't is because, and I wondered if watching this time I would feel the same way, but you can almost sense something is amiss in the car. Like that when like she's apologizing and saying like Brad and just being a woman that like, you know, has been that kind of person where you've been the friend that people overlook and stuff. I kind of just got this vibe like, did I know that it was like that? No. But did I think this bitch is going to do something? I think originally when I watched it, I thought Jared Leto was going to be the killer and she was the one that helped him and that they were in love the whole time. But when I found out it was her and then it was like this whole thing and this, I don't think I was as surprised as maybe some other ones, but I think it's just kind of the way they like set it up because I'm sorry, but if you were crushing on somebody for like a long time and somebody that you thought was your absolute best friend and you just, and they knew from day one that you had feelings from this person and you walk in and just find them randomly kissing them after you had just talked to them about how you felt about them and you're okay with it, I would think like, okay, like, I mean, I'd still be like, okay, well, you guys are cute together, but that's still kind of fucked. Like, I don't know. I just kind of like read the context clues of like, that's weird. That's suspicious. And I didn't think like she was going to go all crazy like that, but I was like, that bitch is going to get her. Like, I don't know, one way or another, maybe. And like I said, I thought she was maybe just helping. But part of me was burned by Robert Englund because obviously I had seen all the Nightmare movies by then. So I was like, he's going to come back. He's going to come back. You think he's dead in the car and like, he's going to pop up. He's going to be behind all of this. Like,
well, especially because he was part of that Stanley Hall massacre. Like they put so much emphasis on that.
Yeah, they did. But yeah, I don't know. I guess I wasn't as gagged as like some other things than like doing like twists with that. I don't know. I'm trying to think of something that really just like blew my mind.
I know I was more shocked for this than I was for like Billy and Stu and Scream.
Yeah, Billy and Stu surprised me more than Billy. Billy, you're kind of going round and round with, but like Billy, I kind of didn't gag me as much as maybe some other people. I I definitely, you know what? I know one that just absolutely had me on the fucking floor, and we just did an episode about it. But session 9 at the end, when you find out what like really is going on the whole entire time, I was like, I remember the first time watching that, and that was just something so different for me to watch. I remember being like, what do you mean? Like, what are you talking about this whole entire time? And the other one, okay,
the whole time.
The whole time. And the biggest one to me though was You're Next. You're Next. I suspected every one of those motherfuckers, and I thought her boyfriend was a little weird, but I almost, Aaron girl, I love you, but I was like, she just has shitty taste in men. And he's just kind of weird. But then when you find out the whole entire time that he's kind of like, he just checked out, he didn't give a fuck, and they were gonna pin it all on her. I was like, hell yeah, you should fuck that man up.
Why the fuck not?
Yeah. Yeah, I was just like, there was just so like, good for you, girl. Like, you pop off. Like, if I was the police officer that responded after those other police officers probably got it because of the booby trap, I'd be like, so wait a minute. Your boyfriend did all of this to his family and somehow attached you to this? Okay. Fuck that shit. And you set this trap up and it just went off on this. Okay. Girl, you're innocent. I'll go up to bat for you. Like, I'll testify at your court hearing. You're good. I'll be okay. So, but yeah, I just wasn't as gagged, but I do think it is shocking to think like you didn't suspect that this random girl befriended you and like all of a sudden became your best friend, and like without really, I'm like, you would have been so much better just making nice and really befriending your goth roommate.
And I think it's one of the first times the best friend is the killer. So that's like something that's so fresh.
That's
and Rebecca freaking killed it. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Rebecca Gayheart's great.
Like, she gags me with her performance every time. And so many people who love this movie want her back for the new film. And I would too, but considering, she's married to Eric Dane and he's going through his ALS stuff,
they're not together.
Yeah, I really don't think that's a possibility, because sure she could, and I'm sure he is a tough guy, but with ALS, you can't really fuck around with that.
Yeah. I just, I don't actually think they're still married. But
no, they're not, but they're still very close.
Yeah.
And like
I thought they called off the divorce.
I think they might have, and listen, it might have brought them back together because
it would have to.
Yeah,
it would have to. I think they still have deep love, but I do think that we should just let her have, maybe if she wants to like pop up one day and do a cameo, like a wink, wink, nod, nod. That's great, but I think we just kind of need to let them have.
I like it, but I think we just need to leave her alone. Like, I'm very apprehensive as to what Scream 7's going to bring about with Roman and Stu coming back. Like, I'm very happy about it, but at what capacity?
Yeah. I just know they need to do something ballsy in this.
Yeah.
If they're bringing Sydney back, she's not going to die. We don't want it to be a repeat. Like, she kills everybody and like.
Well, and I feel like
I want either her daughter to die or to be a part of it.
Yeah, I just want, if you are going to cancel out a whole timeline that you just spent 2 movies building up by bringing them back and not bringing the other actresses back, you're going to have to do something that's going to have to pick things up off the floor. So I don't know. I guess we'll see how it goes, but I would be just, I don't know. I want to see where they're going to go with this. So I will be watching. We'll go ahead, though, as we're almost hitting the 2-hour mark, and swerve into what's our favorite thing in horror this week. So, Kylie, what's your favorite thing in horror this week?
I am kind of excited for this movie Good Boy that's coming out in October. Dakota said he wants to see it, but it's a scary movie from the perspective of a dog.
A dog, yes. I love that. I love that.
Yeah.
I'm
just wondering, is he going to talk? Is it going to be like his inside voice, like in his head? Like, what is this going to, But I love a good dog in a scary movie.
Yeah, he just looks like, he just looks like you want to trust him. You know what I mean? Like, you just want to, protect him. He's here.
I mean, if he's anything like Boy from Love and
Monsters,
oh yes, I'm gonna fall in love.
Yeah. But I love how this like is opening up an avenue possibly to like do horror from a pet perspective, because I feel like, listen, I feel like my cat would be perfect for, a horror POV. Like, she'd be like, these people are fucking crazy. Like, why the fuck are you doing that?
Brenly would be the villain. What are you
saying? She would.
It's funny you say that, though, because in The Hills Have Eyes 2, like the sequel to the Wes Craven one, we, like the surviving dog, that dog has flashbacks to the first movie.
Oh my gosh, I forgot about that. Yes, he does. I totally forgot about that. I did. Yeah, that's great. Yeah, I am just totally like, I don't know. I'm clicked in. I'm on board with it. But I think it just looks really good. My thing for the week is definitely, so I wasn't going to try to steal this from Cody. I don't even know if this was going to be his response, but Alien Earth comes out this week. And I've tried to avoid like a ton of spoilerly things for it, but like this looks heavy, man. Like, I'm excited. Like, listen, I know FX spent some, like FX, Hulu, Disney, Fox, wherever you're standing on this, they put some money into this thing, because just like the things I'm seeing with different stuff and the way that people are reacting from it, like, this is some shit. So I'm really excited. I'm so happy that episode 1 is coming out this week, because if it was any longer, I think I would literally die. Not even try to be dramatic, but it's just like, it just is so good. And I just feel like we're in a really good era of horror right now. Like, especially this last half of the year, we're coming in strong with some hitters, Him, Predator Badlands, Five Nights at Freddy's, Black Phone 2.
Weapons just at number 1 with like $40-something million in the US. Yeah. And look how well I Know What You Did Last Summer did. And just the way that like horror is going. I just am really excited for all of this. So I do feel like we're in an era where we're getting some really good gems. I'm just excited. I'm excited. And like the silent, even just on smaller spectrums, like the Silent Night, Deadly Night remake looks. Yes.
I'm so excited for that.
Rohan Campbell was the perfect casting.
Oh,
absolutely. Absolutely.
Perfect. And I just feel like for a while, Christmas themed horror, holiday horror, even just horror that was kind of like outside the box like that, was just something that was very not touched. And I love seeing like Jordan Peele doing Him like as a sports horror movie. I think that's just going to open up a whole nother like realm of like just possibilities from that perspective. I'm really kind of fucking psyched to see Julia Fox in this movie. Like, I guess I missed the memo that she was in this from what I saw from the trailer. I'm like, you know what? This makes fucking sense, because Julia Fox has like steady said that she is a horror fan. So I think that works. But yeah, I'm just excited for like the way that things are coming across with horror right now. So let's just keep killing it till the end of the year. That's all I gotta say. So Cody, what about you?
Before I jump into mine, I just want to tag on to that quick. Julia Fox, I don't know if you saw the movie yet, but Steven Soderbergh horror movie Presence. She has a small part in that.
I did see that, and I
keep hearing good things about that.
Yeah,
it is good. It's definitely more drama leaning, but there's still a heavy horror vibe to it.
Yeah, I did see that. I feel like people listen. I understand Julia Fox had her moments, okay, but like, I think she's pretty great. Like, she's a little unfiltered. It's fine. So
we like unfiltered around these parts.
Yeah, and listen, she came back and she said, "Listen, I know I was crazy during the whole Kanye stuff. I own it though," and she does. She's owned everything. So I feel like, hey, listen, give the girl a break, and she's probably going to kill it in this movie. And I hope that she does a million fucking things after this, especially in horror, because I do think she would be a really cool horror person, and a fresh face. So. But yeah, it's to you, Cody.
Okay. Mine is the fact that we officially got an announcement that we are getting a Final Destination 7. It was kind of on the bubble there, I think, because shortly after, 6 was like huge opening weekend and all that. And the creators were kind of like, they're asked if they're going to do nothing. They're like, oh, well, we're not sure. It's kind of hard to think of a script and something along those lines. And I'm like, no. You are not going to have me get this sequel after a billion years to, because this is Final Destination, my favorite horror franchise after Scream. And you can't just leave me with this. There's a whole world of things that can kill you. Like, yes, take your time to write the script so we don't get a rehash of 4, because that was... But as long as we're getting one, for sure, I am so happy.
Yeah, I just feel like 4 obviously was not the strongest, right?
Well,
but
I can understand that was a victim of the writer's strikes, and they had to really rush that production.
Yeah.
So I can understand that, but that doesn't negate the fact that it was a bad movie.
But for the most part, let's face it, Final Destination is kind of one of the stronger horror franchises. Because, like, 1's good, 2 is fantastic, 3's all right. Like, it's good. Well, 3 is good, but I mean, like, following up after 2, it is the most. But 3 is also iconic because it picks up, like, theme parks, and obviously I resonate as somebody who lived by a theme park.
It gave us the most balls to the wall kills.
Yes, it did. And then 5, it was definitely one of those things. That was another reveal that like gagged the fuck out of me. Was like, that was not on my bingo card, that was even a possibility, a realm, a thought process of going forward. But it definitely reset things. And then obviously 6, like, just weaving that. So I do think that there's room, and we can kind of go forward from there. So, and listen, some of the stars that supposedly did survive, like especially AJ Cook from the second one, has come out and said
she wants to come back.
And so I feel like there's a possibility where if we took this person off the timeline, and now all of a sudden the timeline has like come forth, don't you think Death would be coming back around? Like after he cleared off the books with different people. So I feel like that could be a possibility. So, but I'm excited, and I do feel like that's one of those where they could just keep doing so many more, because how do you outrun death? And death is something that happens every day in life. And I thought there is no possible way with a new one that they could gag me, but I will tell you, nothing prepared me for that MRI death. Nothing prepared me for that MRI death. And I thought I had been surprised by everything, but that MRI one just got me. The trash one even was like one that I was just like, yeah, you fucking petty as hell for putting that girl in the trash can. Like,
that's so petty this time around.
It was, and I just felt like it brought the fun back. So I would love to see more in this going forth. But I'm excited for that. So thank you so much, Cody, for coming on. We're going to go ahead and link in the description down below where to find you. Thank you for everyone who listened to all of this episode, because we are tangent central tonight. And yeah, it was kind of a vibe though, and it was great because I want the world to hear how great Cody is, because I get to see this and Kylie and all the people in Hellzone on the chat, but you see Cody in reviews, and Cody is kind of a walking encyclopedia as well. So I'm really glad. So definitely check him out. Check out the Hellzone as always. And until next time, it's me, Cass, and
Kylie.
And we had the pleasure of having Cody on. And we are the Horrorcraft Podcast. And we're saying bye and stay spooky. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.